From CGTN headquarters in Beijing, this is The Hub with Wang Guan.
Hello and welcome to The Hub. I'm Wang Guan in Beijing. The wait is over. The 2022 Beijing Winter Olympics are officially on. Over 2,800 athletes from 91 countries and regions will battle it out on ice and on snow. But first, all eyes were on China's national stadium known as the Bird's Nest, where the opening ceremony was taking place. Fair to say, it is an opening ceremony like none other. On this very special occasion, we're honored to be joined by Li Lingwei, Vice President of China's Olympic Committee. She's also a member of the International Olympic Committee. Madam Li, great to have you with us here on CGTN. Welcome.
Thank you, Wang Guan.
Good to see you there. Good to see you.
Nice
I've been trying to get you on our show for a long time. Great to have you finally. I understand that you were in the Bird's Nest watching the opening ceremony. What was it like? What do you think about the opening ceremony?
Yes, I was in the Bird's Nest last night and enjoyed the fantastic events with all the friends and not only inside the stadium. I think many people sitting in front of the TV. So I think it's another gala not only for the Chinese people during the festival, and also it's a gala, it's a big event for the whole world. I really enjoyed, and I'm lucky to be there in person.
So, anything that stood out for you, anything that struck you about the opening ceremony? Because it is very different from previous ceremonies.
Yes, as we know that during the Tokyo Olympic Games, the opening ceremony, I was there and sitting in the stadium with an empty seating. And I think my feeling was very kind of a mixture. And actually my heart was crying, because the organizing committee and also the people in Japan, they worked so hard and to get ready for the Olympics, but due to the pandemic, nobody on site, so it was really a pity. So last night was completely different. We had, I think, about 40,000 audience on site. Wow. So it's really good not only for the athletes, but also for the Olympic movement.
And then, Madam Li, what do you think about the cauldron lighting ceremony when the torch was placed in the cauldron? That is, unexpected to say the least.
Yes. Because I think not only myself has enjoyed the different opening ceremony in different countries, and many IOC members, especially those senior members, they have enjoyed so many opening ceremony. And when the cauldron lighting was the peak of the events, so people had a very high expectation. But last night was completely different from the previous one. So, but after that, I talked with some IOC members. They love it, and they said out of their expectation, but it was innovation, and also the scientific and the technological innovation. So I think maybe from yesterday, we can change the way to do many things.
Yeah, I mean, the ceremony was still being talked about by people around the world. On one hand, I personally think it is very Chinese in many ways. We saw the Chinese children, passing the national flag, and also the Chinese elements, the 24 Jieqi on the Chinese lunar calendar. But also, it has a sense, has a touch of, being globally minded. The 19 classical songs being played when the Parade of Nations were taking place. The snowflake, the big snowflake, consisting of 91 participating nations and regions, certainly showing that China has the whole world in mind.
Yes, I think the opening ceremony yesterday was not completely, but I think it's different from the 2008 Olympic Games. I heard from some senior IOC members. I really tried to get what they are feeling, and they said actually there was no comparison. Each one has its unique element. So for the 2008 opening ceremony, actually during that time I was in charge of the service and for the 220 NOCs. So actually I was working behind the curtain, not like yesterday, just sitting there, enjoy the whole program. But when I was sitting there, a lot of memories came to my mind 14 years ago. So I really enjoyed and cherished the moment.
Yeah, that's really leading to my next question. Beijing has now officially become the dual Olympic city, 双奥之城, and you were very much involved in both games. Like you said, as Deputy Director in charge of International Liaison in 2008, and now as Vice President of China's Olympic Committee, how would you compare the 08 Games with the current 2022 Games? What kind of a feel does the current game bring you? What kind of memories does this game bring you?
Personally speaking, I think the two games I played a different role. And for 2008, just I mentioned during the opening ceremony, I not only provided service for the NOCs, but also I was the IOC flag bearer. But I think that time for myself and also the people from the organizing committee, not as confident like today. I think the opening ceremony tried to show in the world what's the China, what's the culture. But yesterday, I think quite simple, but there is a saying, simple is not a simple. With more emotional and the program or the, the program touched your feeling and you can feel your heart connected with others. So I really enjoy the program.
Madam Li, let's talk about the challenges in putting together the Winter Olympics. Around the world, people have different opinions about China's zero COVID policy. Some think this is very strict, maybe too strict, But the fact is, since COVID, the Beijing Winter Olympics is one of the very few global sporting events that is taking place as scheduled, which really serves the best interests of none other than athletes. After all, it's their competitive career that is at stake. I'm sure it's not as easy as it looks to put together such a big event. What specific challenges did you and your colleagues and the organizing committee overcome to stage these games?
Yes, actually, I think we could imagine how difficult it is. I think not only for the organizing committee and not only for the people working in Beijing, actually also was a huge challenge for the IOC, for the international federations, and for the national Olympic committees. Of course, most challenge for our athletes, because in the past 2 years or almost more than 2 years, the athletes couldn't, in some countries, couldn't participate in competitions and even affect their routine daily life. So finally, they are here. So I think the participation is more than they win the games. So as long as they gathering in Beijing, just like 2 days before I accompanied the President Ba, we had a tour in the village, So we had a meal in canteen. So the athletes, they were so excited, not only gathering in Beijing, and they can perform, try their best to perform in the best way.
Yeah, I saw some videos on the internet, on TikTok, showing the global athletes cheering up, making fun, having a good time in the Olympic Village. Like you said, Madame Li, you spent quite some time with IOC President Thomas Bach during his stay in Beijing this time around. Other than what's being reported by the press, any interesting things he said about the Beijing Olympics or about China that you could perhaps share with us?
Yeah, the president, he is very, how to say, for me, I think just like elder brother. He very kind to everyone, and he makes a joke with some athletes, especially in the village or in the competition venues. So when he met the athletes, it seems he back to many years ago, like athletes, so very close to the athletes. So actually, he is the leader of the Olympic movement, but he was an athlete. He was an Olympic champion, and the relationship with China, I think, is very close. He has paid many time visit, not only to Beijing and to other cities, and especially he enjoys very spicy food.
Oh, really?
In China. And once we had a tour to Sichuan, and the local people was surprised. He could enjoy such a strong, spicy food, even better than the local people.
Really?
Anyway.
Wow. So, Madame Li, in 2008, its official slogan is One World, One Dream. And currently, the 2022 Games has a slogan of Together for a Shared Future. So, how would you tell people living outside China about China's contribution to the international Olympic movement?
I think we, from the very beginning, we decided to bid for the Olympic Games. I think the Chinese people become more and more involved in the sports, and Olympic movement become more familiar with the ordinary people. I think many times years ago, when I was a player, so I think a lot of Chinese people only watch or enjoy the competition from the TV or outside. But nowadays, they have changed their attitude. They try to participate, not only to enjoy on the screen. So I think the participation is become more and more popular. And also, people in China not only focus on the Chinese athletes won gold medals, but also focus on how the athletes' performance. So it means they really enjoy the sport, not only focus on the medals.
Yeah, we heard from the Chinese president saying that he personally thinks it is more important to have more people enjoying winter sports than how many medals, gold medals, the athletes garner in these games. China says it wants to engage 300 million Chinese in winter sports. How has the Beijing Olympics, in your opinion, inspired grassroots participation in winter sports?
Yeah, I think compared to the Summer Olympic Games, I mean summer sports, our country quite not as popular as the winter sports in European country. But I think after Beijing's Winter Games, winter sports will become more and more popular, and I really hope to see more kids like we watched on opening ceremony. Those kids will become future not only become the future athletes in winter sports, but will become a kinds of hobby in their life. So participation also is very important.
You are the most decorated female Chinese athlete in history, and I mean it literally. You won 48 major titles, including 13 world titles in badminton. What is it like watching these athletes today competing, battling it out? What do you want to say to the Chinese Olympians?
You know, when I first won the champion, actually more than 40 years ago. So 40 years.
Which year was it? 1980?
Yes, 1980, I won the first national champion and also the champion of Asian badminton competition.
Wow.
Yeah, so that time I was 16. More than 40 years, I often told to myself, I was so lucky. I'm a lucky woman to grow up, to witness the change of our country, to witness the change of the world, and also the development of sport. So I really cherish what I have enjoyed. And I think nowadays the champion, I mean the athletes, quite different from our age, because the whole society has been changed so rapidly. So I think their life more enjoyable, and for our athletes, I mean in China, they are not only practice to get a good performance and winning a medal, and their life more enjoyable and more colorful. And even after they are retired, there are many choices to continue their wonderful life.
I mean, you continued your wonderful life as a sports management official, sitting also in the IOC.
Yeah, for me, I think because during my career, badminton was not the official program on the Olympics, so I couldn't participate in the Olympic Games.
It was not until 1992 Barcelona, right? And that's
right.
when you are already retired.
Yes.
So was that a regret?
No. So I think if I participate and I lost, it will be a regret. So I just enjoy my career.
Well, many would say that they don't think you will lose, but that is a good answer. Finally, anything you want to say to our viewers around the world watching these Beijing Winter Olympics?
Actually, I always follow your program. I try to practice. Yeah, try to practice my English and try to.
It is great, by the way.
And try to understand what other people, I mean, from a different country, how to look at China. But for me, I think not only through the media to understand what the China is. Please come to China. I mean, so when the pandemic is over or in the future, come to China and to see through your own eyes, to understand the real culture of China and to try the real Chinese food in China.
All right. On that happy note, thank you very much, Madam Li. Thank you for your time. Come back again, please.
Thank you very much.
In the next part, the president of Turkmenistan, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov, will join us on today's Hub. We'll come back after a short break. Welcome back. You're watching The Hub. Right before the opening ceremony, CGTN Russia had an exclusive interview with the president of Turkmenistan, Gurbanguly Berdimuhamedov. The president talked to us about the ongoing Beijing Olympics, China-Turkmenistan relations, among other things. Watch.
Прежде всего, позвольте поблагодарить руководство First of all, I would like to thank CCTV and CGTN's Russian channel for proposing the interview. Communicating with such an authoritative and reputable media outlet with tens of millions of viewers at home and abroad will further promote mutual understanding between our two countries and peoples. History proves that the Olympic Games have always symbolized peace and friendship among peoples across the world. The suspension of hostility and war, the unity of peoples of different nationalities and political convictions, and the respect for the noble Olympic spirit, which calls for mutual understanding, openness, and closeness between nations and peoples. As the president of Turkmenistan, I follow these principles in both domestic and foreign affairs. I gratefully accepted the invitation from the distinguished president of China. We have carefully followed China's preparations for the Winter Olympics. We have seen what China has done, what magnificent facilities have been completed, and what innovative high-tech solutions have been applied to the Games. China has once again demonstrated its ability to complete various tasks satisfactorily. I believe that the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics will achieve many fruitful results. It will become a glorious event in the history of sports, and will become a true festival for millions of people from different parts of the world. Turkmenistan highly appreciates and will never forget China's support in the process of Turkmenistan gaining independence, its respect for Turkmenistan's neutral status, and China's foreign policy on the basis of that. On issues concerning China's core interests, such as territorial integrity and the One China principle, Turkmenistan has always maintained a clear attitude, that is, firmly adheres to the One China principle, supports the peaceful development of cross-strait relations, and supports China's peaceful reunification. For Turkmenistan, China is not only a great country, a powerful world economic and industrial center, a broad and promising market, but also a reliable and trustworthy friend. Similar worldviews with related goals and tasks in international peace and security affairs unite Turkmenistan and China. The two countries interact effectively on international stage, support each other in important international organizations headed by the United Nations, and coordinate political and diplomatic efforts to promote and achieve constructive solutions. Such characteristics of the Turkmenistan-China relationship conform to the fundamental interests of the Turkmen and the Chinese people, and have a significant and positive impact on the development process of the Eurasian continent and even the world. On the agenda of the Turkmenistan-China dialogue, the situation in Central Asia has attracted much attention. In this regard, two countries are under the same position. Turkmenistan and China are both in favor of building a solid security system in Central Asia, based on the balance of multilateral interests and insisting on solving various problems through political and diplomatic means. On these issues, Turkmenistan and China, as responsible members of the international community, have made substantial contributions to the establishment of a regional interaction mechanism and support for the sound development momentum of the region. One of the priorities of Turkmenistan's cooperation with China is in the field of fuel and energy. It is understandable that both countries have great potential in this area. Turkmenistan-China gas pipeline was formally opened in the end of 2009. It is an important example of the development of partnership between the two countries on the basis of equality and mutual benefit, and has opened up a broad horizon for cooperation in natural gas between Turkmenistan and China. In such projects, from producers to transit countries to consumers, all parties involved can achieve a balance of interests. Now, with the increasing demand from China and under the promise of abundant reserves in Turkmenistan, both sides are examining ways to increase Turkmenistan's gas exports. Turkmenistan is now preparing to conduct a feasibility study on the construction of the fourth natural gas pipeline with China. The cooperation committee mechanism between Turkmenistan and China is operating effectively, At the meeting in November 2021, the two sides signed 5 documents, including 2021 to 2025 Intergovernmental Cooperation Plan. Turkmenistan sees these as a solid foundation for the two countries to move forward hand in hand. Objectively, common interests have prompted Turkmenistan and China to successfully establish a partnership based on the Silk Road Revival Plan and the Belt and Road Initiative. Promoting the implementation of the Silk Road Revival Plan and the Belt and Road Initiative can increase the momentum of the economic development of the Eurasian continent that connects the Pacific and the Atlantic Oceans, help to create an interconnected production technological system, an industrial hub, and solve a series of social problems, and bring tangible benefits to the people. I believe that diversified cooperation will act as the cornerstone of the new feature of Eurasia's geoeconomics. In the process of realizing this goal, any constructive ideas, strategies, and initiatives will complement each other on the basis of long-term mutual benefit. Therefore, I believe that in terms of their own philosophical concepts and geoeconomic significance, the Silk Road Revival Plan and the Belt and Road Initiative complement each other. Cooperation in the field of humanities is one of the key factors in strengthening friendship and mutual understanding between our two countries. Our people share a wide and mutual passion in each other's arts and cultures, and the countries have created favorable conditions for extensive contacts between talents in the creative and scientific fields. Both countries agree that they will continue prolonging this partnership. Education is the key direction of bilateral cooperation in the field of humanities. Turkmenistan highly appreciates the supportive attitude of China in welcoming Turkmen youths to learn professional skills and practical knowledge in Chinese universities. In addition, the two countries will cooperate further in sports. One example is the Chinese delegation's participation in the Asian Games in Turkmenistan in 2017. I believe that the Beijing Winter Olympics will also inject renewed vitality in our collaboration in sports. Our cooperation has proven fruitful and will get passed down from generation to generation. In general, the two countries have broad space for cooperation in the fields of politics, economy and trade, transportation and energy, investment, high technology, culture and humanitarianism. Prospects for cooperation are promising. I wish the Chinese people a happy new year, and I sincerely wish you peace and well-being. I wish the successful completion of various development plans and great achievements in economic and social development. May your life be prosperous. I believe that in the new year, Chinese leaders' far-sighted domestic and foreign policies will surely bring new achievements and victories to the country.
And that's all we have for today's edition of The Hub. If you have any comments or suggestions about our show, feel free to contact us on social media. Thank you for joining us. I'm Wang Guan. Our news coverage continues on CGTN. Bye for now.